Welcome to the Compromise to Alchemized podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Neel Bolton-Donnie. I'm excited as you join me in this journey to listen to my conversations with some of the leading experts in the field of healing from a broad range of disciplines.
Greetings and hello, coming to you from Agora Hills, and I feel it's fitting to record this intro for the interview that I will be doing with Gina Lopez here, because that's the first place she came to come in for sessions. So, in the interview, we're going to go into a lot. It's going to be kind of ranging from her story of kind of who she is. And now I'm going to talk from two perspectives. One, we have her as a pursuant of keys for her health, and for a lot of reasons, right? So this is why it fits really well into Compromise to Alchemized, where I ask her, what's going to be this message of your personal legend, what compels you? Because she's been to some amazing providers to pursue her health. And so we'll leave it at that and say that then she, so that's how she came in, as somebody seeking help. But she also has, current work and future work involved in helping others. And especially in the time ahead, in when she steps into the healing journey of how she's going to help people with that. So I get really excited because it's both a chance for me to reveal what journey I get to have in witnessing somebody come into greater levels of health, and also somebody who has tenacity in pursuing keys and seeking people out. She was going to get ready to fly to Reading from San Diego to come to me, but then reached out, and happened to be that she didn't know, she had known where I was, that I was in Agora Hills. Now that's not that close, right? She's driven from San Diego to Agora Hills to seek out sessions. But recently she had a phenomenal tongue-tie release with Dr. Zaghi. Of course, she's had facial and physique, Tamara and the team for myofunctional therapy. And she came the day after. We did some, leading sessions leading up to her tongue-tie release surgery. And then the day after, we did a session. So she drove up with her husband to Santa Barbara. So quite a trek, quite a journey. And I mean the whole thing. May even hopefully tack in the clips of like after the release, and she was struggling to, articulate and speak, and her tongue was all swollen. And within minutes, we freed up her thyroid gland, and she could talk and elocute really well. And that just kind of paints the picture of like so many moments along the way leading up to the release that prepared her in layers of complexity. Then we're going to talk about some of that too. So yeah, I'm really excited for this chat, and for what, this is like any others who I'm interviewing. I really want to dig into like what gold they have, what gold Gina has, because there is a lot. And anybody that knows her, that's been, part of this journey for her, all says the same thing. She really goes for it. And so that being said, like, as she's said it many times, like what she's doing isn't really, it is special. And yet she's just looking at what she needs in order to thrive. So in that way, I feel like she's, showing also a way for everybody to have a pathway into seeking out answers when, you need to be your own advocate. I've had multiple people that have come through my doors, and that I've had the pleasure of being a person that gets to, lend help to their healing journey, where, and I try to be somebody who can advocate, and help. But, so many, this is a place where they've had to advocate for their health and their own sense of what do we need and what do we need to pursue. So This is a great one. I would love to hear how you all think this went, or how you enjoy this. And so, yeah, we'll get really excited for this conversation.
We are here on the Compromised to Alchemized podcast. Um, this is Gina Lopez, and just so you know, she's agreed to be on my podcast, and we're right about to do her session. So I just told her, hey, guess what? This is video, and guess what? I have some questions for you. So sometimes I'll give people a lot of prep. Sometimes I'll give them a little prep. We knew about this conversation. Gina knew about it, but just so you all know, some of this is going to be, I'm just going to ask her because I want to get her raw thoughts and so I'm excited. So if some of you have seen the video of Gina, well, she popped into an Instagram live once, and then we have a video that we just posted about Gina post tongue tie release procedure and how releasing a thyroid gland actually helped her like speak more articulately. So just for context, want to talk a little bit about that and what led Gina to pursue sessions with me. But actually more than that, I'm excited for her to share like her passion, tenacity, not only for like solving what was going on with her health and what is she's journeying with, but also like I said to her, I'm like, what's your personal legend? And, just kind of like that. So Gina, just, say hello and tell us, first of all, good morning. And like, I'm excited to have you here.
I'm very excited to be here. Shocking that I am on a podcast, but yes, agreed to be here. Happy to be here. So my name is Gina Lopez, and we will have a session today. I am speaking more articulate.
A lot better, by the way. I was like, how are you going to do coming in? Because it was a lot better last time. But,
yes.
Yeah.
So I am 1 week post-op of my tongue tie release, and I'm sure we'll get into that. So a little bit about me. I've hail here from California, so I'm a local, native. Spent a lot of time living around the world, Europe, Hawaii, all over. And it's due to my job. I work for the U.S. Navy SEALs in Coronado, and spend my time during the day with them, supporting them.
So, which is really cool. I mean, first of all, as soon as you told me, like, you go into this vault during the day and then you come out, and then the kind of work you do is very unique.
It's a secure facility where I'm not able to take my cell phone, so it takes me a little while to respond. I'm not quick on the text response.
You're actually really quick overall. It's quicker than some people who don't go into a secret vault. So yeah, there's so much you have so much to share. That's why this is going to be really hard. We're going to do this, and we'll probably do more in the future. Just so you know, This won't be your only time to share with the people that are tuning in. If you just kind of like would tell me like what, where do you want to start? Like what led you, because I'm going to talk about you and like your health, but I want to talk about you and the journey you're on and what you're pursuing in this big like life mission you have. Let me start right with that, actually. I'm going to start out with Paulo Coelho in his book, The Alchemist, asks, or he talks about this theme, which is the old king who says to the boy Santiago, when you pursue your personal legend, the universe conspires in your favor. And I actually recorded something that I haven't shared yet that talks a lot more about personal legend, because for me, a personal legend is destiny, calling. Like, what do you know that you are to do on this planet that perhaps nobody else does, but at least you know you are to do? But also, like, what's the legend is like that place on the map that helps you know how far is it from one place to the other, right? Mm-hmm. And what do the symbols mean? So I would like to ask you also, like, in life, before and then now as you go into this new phase, how do you know you're on track? So what is the thing that you know you are to do, if you could explain that? But then also, like, what are the ways that you kind of check in? So if you would just say, like, you just told us Navy SEAL, how long have you been doing that? And then what did you do before that? And then if you wouldn't mind saying, what are you about to do?
Yes, it's such a juicy question, though.
It's a big one.
Personal legend. I loved it when I heard that. Awesome. Yes. So originally, I started out in the field of kinesiology. So I went to school, studied health and fitness, working out. I was a personal trainer, and then health and fitness director, and fitness instructor, kickbox, step Reebok, high impact. You have to take it back to the '90s when I would do a lot of the high impact aerobics. Somehow that led me to business school to pick up a few more tools in my belt, and then ultimately I fell in love with. I did this. It was a Chamber of Commerce group thing you do for a year. It was a leadership program, and we started learning more different attributes of what the city is about. And city planning is what sparked my interest. And so I went to graduate school for a master's of city and regional planning at San Luis Obispo Cal Poly. And that's where I fell in love. I love the short-term planning, the mid-range planning, long-term planning. Some people would probably say with planning commissions, you don't see plans come about. But working with the Fed, which is true because I did do city planning for a local city in California. But what ended up happening was I worked for the federal government. And throughout working in Washington, D.C. and different areas, it led me to Africa. And I was working in Africa, in the Horn of Africa specifically, supporting a lot of special operators. And we would literally implement the plan, and then see the fruits of our labor, so to speak, which I thought, this doesn't happen. And when you're doing city planning, you don't just get 500 acres annexed into the city, and then you develop it and figure out where housing and streets go, and wastewater and power and everything. So that's sort of kind of, I can try and tell you a little bit about what I do with the SEALs. But I normally don't talk about what I do with my job. But anyhow, it was a great framework just to be able to map something out, reach the destination, and then figure out, sort of like spokes on a bike, where you have the center and then you have the spokes that come out, and all the different things that can affect or impact whatever plan, whatever it is you're doing. So that's sort of, I would say, where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going. Gosh, the personal legend, I really, truly have to say, what first came to mind when you said that was, I want to be I want to be a part of something larger than me, greater than me, something that I could participate in, contribute to, of the greater good of the whole, and have my contribution support whatever that is I'm doing. And that's where I felt the 1% of the population that does the tasks that the gentlemen do that I work for, they... that 1%, what I could give them, what I can offer and contribute would be something that would be so fulfilling that, that would be my legend until I came back from Africa with, I would call them souvenirs. They were parasites, but they were souvenirs I came back with, and a whole bunch of series of steps that just unraveled things, letters, acronyms. I was like, what is SIBO? What are all these things going on with my health? Naturopathic doctors were great, supporting me and providing protocols and support. And through that journey of also learning about my health, getting the mercury taken out of my mouth, learning about my bite, which also kept, started leading me down little breadcrumbs to airway, but not quite initially. But I realized as I went through this journey, as I healed, as I adopted the protocols and made the lifestyle changes and made a whole 180-degree turn from my life, I went, wow, this is possible. This is the rest of the population. That's not the 1%, because the 1%, we take such good care of these men that they do have the individuals and support that's there to help train them, to get them prepared. But the 99%, that's where my heart went out to and said, wow, the rest of us that we're not quite thinking either of our health or airway or the importance of breath, of being able to have oxygen, rich oxygen come into our bodies, which sustains us as life. I realized that was the calling, that was the greater good. And so I'm in transition, as you know, making that turn out of one career where I feel like I have reached the pinnacle and I'm on my game as a subject matter expert. But now I'm going to enter into another field where I get to learn, and I enjoy that part, learning. But I feel like the sky's the limit because there's so much to learn and to share about my experience and sort of the things I've kind of gone through. So it's a little bit about before, today, and after.
Yeah, and what would you like? What do you think? Look, in the future, when you're done with your training and things, what will you be in the field of?
So I am now pursuing another graduate degree. It is in human nutrition and functional medicine.
Yeah.
So going down that path with nutrition, with lifestyle changes, with or lifestyle improvements, we could say, in the functional medicine world, and making sure that folks know where we end up feeling that sometimes you may not have all the answers right away. You may not understand if there's a malady, if there's a condition. I don't really want to use the word symptoms, but that's what we generally use in modern day. But something like clues or signals, your body's always speaking to you. If you attune to it and hear what it's actually saying, you know, a headache, what does that mean? Or a backache, or if your neck, you're getting a lot of neck pain, it could be out of alignment. But it could be other things too. And much to what we learned, as you mentioned, the real having my thyroid out of alignment affected my speech, which no one would, you wouldn't think that that would happen. My tongue tie was released, and next thing you know, I was speaking. I was not speaking very articulate actually, and so we did a little work, and here we saw that okay, now it's back in alignment. But before the tongue tie, before the sessions, Dr. Neel, before all of this, and even Dr. Zaghi did say at the Breathe Institute, your ability to take care of yourself and to get your body to a place to do this is really what's contributing also to my success. So by taking care of myself, by doing the things, the lifestyle, the nutrition, all the aspects I'm ready to move into and learn more about and implement and share with others, that's really is what was pivotal to help keep my body where it needs to be. So that I was very thankful for, because you know it's taking care of me. So I thought, wow, all this work I've done is very beneficial. Even prior to all of this, where I first started was expanding of my palate. So I did that micro assisted rapid palatal expansion, MARPE.
Yeah.
So I did that, and same thing with my specialist. My ortho specialist said, you know, we don't have to do a corticotomy and cut the center. Your body was able to expand once we put the 6 screws in your palate, in your mandible. We were able to say, wow, we can expand that. And he said, again, it has to do with your good health. And every time I keep seeing folks, different specialists, your good health, your great health. Oh, because of your health. And I went, oh, so all this work really did, you know, of course, it's for longevity too, but it did pay off. So I was shocked. So.
Yeah. And you mentioned it. I know you came to me after being to others, like you've alluded to and mentioned.
I was building a team.
And like you did, your tenacious pursuit of like excelling, like, you know, you dealt with parasites, and then you're rebuilding your gut, and then you're getting healing, and clearly you were on this journey to like heal, so that you could, like, from what you've done is like excel and be the best that you can be, because you like have so much to give and do, and like your job's very important, and like all those things. So maybe to paint the picture a little bit, like what I think you did already, but like what, and I know you when you got a hold of me, you're like, I found you. You like dug me out of the ethers, and you found my name somewhere.
Yes.
I know, you just like, and you're like, where are you at? Are you in Reading? And you were gonna fly up to Reading.
I was ready to fly.
And it happened to be only a few hours away, at least, even though it was still a hike, right? From San Diego area to when I'm in Agora Hills, it's still like over 3 hours. You know, sometimes 4. Well, 3-ish, but.
But you're worth it.
So,
you're absolutely worth it.
So tell me like what drove you to like look me up, and then less about me and more about you, like what drove you to look me up, and then like like who, how you were being helped, and I want to make sure
building my team.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Yes. So the universe does conspire. Absolutely, what you said. Absolutely, it conspires. When you first enter the world of airway, and you don't even know that word quite yet, that's what you need. I remember meeting with an upper cervical chiropractor for about a good 2 years, meeting once a week, then weekly, then monthly, then every other month. And I went, I have a degree in kinesiology. I have a background in biomechanics and human movement. And, there has to be a structural issue. There has to be. I've been a personal trainer. I've been studying the body. So, I know my body. So it has to be something. And I went on to find The universe conspired. I went to a special location in San Diego where they train Olympic athletes and just athletes. And I thought, I want a high performance body. I work with high performance guys. Why can't I have one? But what led me there was to meet with a PRI, the Postural Restorative Institute trainer. And that individual who said the same thing that my biological dentist when I had my mercury taken out was, we need to work on your bite, you need to, your bite's a little off.
Yeah.
And we did something where we were able to get my molars to touch, and I sat in place, and I was able to have this range of motion with my neck, and I went, wow, it is my bite. What do I do? And I asked for help. I generally have no problem asking for help as an adult, but I asked for help. I said, is there anybody you recommend or that you know of? And little did I know, this gentleman went to go look at the airway circle and went to that website, which I was so grateful to learn about that. But I found the ortho specialist who was able to look at, do an assessment, and we decided, let's do the MARPE, let's expand the lower. I ended up, when I was a teenager, I had the 2 upper teeth removed and the 2 lower teeth removed. The 2 lower teeth were removed because of the upper, but that shrunk my palate, and I did not realize that was why my sleep sometimes was a little chaotic. Yeah. How I wouldn't wake up feeling refreshed. If I worked out, I would breathe, but through my mouth, through my nose, I just didn't have a lot of oxygen going through the system. Not realizing that, thinking I was fine. And of course I realized, hey, I'm doing some work. It's changing the bones in my palate. This suture opens up between, above your teeth. And when it opens up, new bone has to grow. So right. I'm like, wow, I have to make sure and thankfully, at 49, when I started this, 49, I was still cycling. So looking that up as well, I was still producing good amounts of estrogen, progesterone, my lady hormones. And that's what helped. So that was what the reason was why I didn't need the corticotomy, because I was still cycling, that I was able to have those sutures, those bones open up. Whereas I think if I was postmenopausal, they said it might be a little harder on my body. So I thought I better do it now because time's ticking and I'm getting close to 50 and I should definitely do it. But that was helpful to be successful, to know about that, getting my hormones in harmony. So then that led me to look for, if I'm doing stuff with my face, I looked for a myofascial therapist nearby, craniosacral therapist nearby, not knowing Dr. Neel was the person I really wanted to see, but having to see all these different people. So I'm building the team. I keep adding more people to the team throughout the airway circle and searching, kind of stalking that IG website too, or their IG page. Found out about myo, which my ortho specialist said, you're going to need to find a myotherapist, because after the MARPE, you go through this expansion, you're going to need some, myofunctional therapy. And I went, are you sure? Like, really? And he said, yeah, your tongue, using your mouth. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I am going to be 50. I know how to drink and eat, and I can do this. And he's going, well, there's some muscles you're going to need to train and get to use, because you're going to need to have a tongue tie release and a frenuloplasty.
Frenuloplasty.
Yes, correct. I had a grade 3 tongue tie, which I was like, my tongue is tied. I can use it. I can whistle. So all these things, I went, is it true? So then you go down the rabbit hole and you start looking, and you look up websites and you search and you start finding, hashtags, and you go into a world that you didn't know existed, and you think, I got to pull it back because I'm in over my head. But Airway Circle has a list of providers, a directory, great directory, myofunctional therapists. I found Facial Physique in San Diego.
Yeah, shout out to Renata, who started Airway Circle, of course, and then Tamara with Facial Physique, and Selena. So awesome people. Love y'all.
They were great to guide me down the path. Yes, we exist. Yes, this is what we're here to do.
Right.
I had an assessment and I went, yeah, okay, that's true. You want me to do a few things? You're right. My tongue cannot really do those things, partially because it was tied. But then learning more about, like, I wasn't breastfed as a child, and not that I had to have a reason why, but I know why. I get that. I couldn't latch. I get it now. About certain things about, just lifestyle, again, sleeping, eating. So went down that path, and as I was also, Airway Circle posts a lot of information, I found Dr. Zaghi from the Breathe Institute, which, premier ENT surgeon. I thought, this is the only person I want to do this. Went to his site, and there was other people speaking of their successful tongue ties. Some actually had to have corrections, and so they went to him because they had their tongue tie released somewhere else, and he would do the correction.
Right.
So I thought, that's where I want to go. He ended up actually doing a lip release. I met him about 6 months before doing the tongue tie release, just to get a consult, and so we did a lip tie release. And then he said, you've got to wait for the time for your MARPE to come out, then your myo, and when you're done with myo, then we can schedule after you've done your work. And so I said, okay, that's great. And then you're going to do post surgery, you got to do myo as well, which this week I'm scheduled to go see my myo now after the tongue tie release. But there was a post on his page, and he happened to be at a conference. And at this conference, there was a gentleman who was doing some work on him because he had Dr. Zaghi went through his own airway journey.
Yeah.
And I thought, who is this person? Who is this? And what's going on? And that was you. And so I had to look you up, found your website, you're in Reading, and I literally was ready to, pack it up, and I got to fly up there. I got to meet him, got to know when to do this. Maybe I should figure out how to meet him with, before and after, or how am I going to do this? And can I schedule? And you respond with, on an email too, you respond with, oh, it was you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Dr. Neel. And you said, by the way, I've moved to Southern California. I don't live up in Reading anymore. We can meet in Agora Hills. And I went, we can?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you said, how about this Friday? And I cleared, literally told everybody, I died. I'm dead. I can't go. I can't do anything
Right.
Friday.
Yeah.
I drove there. We met, did an assessment. I realized how I seen a CS craniosacral therapist, the MFR, myofascial release therapist, everyone else. I went, oh yeah, that was not what I really need. I mean, it was what I needed.
Yeah.
At the time,
absolutely.
going through MARPE, it was helpful, but
Yeah.
this was what I really needed, because what really blew my mind was floor of the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that really was even a term. That the whole time it was because of my floor of the mouth, which you teach all around the world. And as I learned more, I went, wow, this was it. This was truly it. It wasn't just, I have to have a chiropractic adjustment, or I have to release some fascia that's tight, or my craniosacral sphenoid. It was the entire body. And I learned about the different diaphragms in the body.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about so much, and I could truly feel warmth in the body going through again. I could feel clear. I just, everything was not only the breathing, which, because I had the MARPE on, I just had it taken off when I met you. I met you 1 month before it was taken off. The MARPE did, though, do remarkable, where I didn't realize I was breathing out of straws.
Yeah.
Like little tiny straws, that once I was able to start turning that little, it's like a little screw in a little barrel in your mouth. But once I opened up the palate, within like the first week, I felt like I was breathing through PVC pipes. Like I had so much air. I would go work out, go for a run, going, I don't have to open my mouth. Like I could do anything now and just breathe through my nose. And my aura ring went from 16 breaths a minute to 12 breaths a minute, which was huge. I couldn't believe that. Like I can get so much more oxygen into my body in a minute than before. But anyhow, meeting with you, it was revolutionary.
Yeah, and I want to say, like this again, like you're pursuing at a deep, like intentional, dedicated level, and not just like to like get your body feeling better. It's getting your body better so that you could like pour out this energy and healing that you have done, and intent and guidance and leadership, and you're even going to do in other ways now. And like, right, like I want to come back to the fact that the MARPE and the work that you had done was extraordinary. Like, I mean, I was actually really, like, I've seen a lot of people get extraordinary work, and I'm like, wow, that's so good. It was kind of an interesting thing of like, you had so many good results without me ever even being involved. So that's great, because I do help people prepare for like MARPE. But
I wish I would have known you.
But still, like, no, I'm like, wow.
Oh yes, I had 10. I expanded 10 millimeters.
Yeah,
I went from 32 millimeters
10 millimeter expansion
to 42 millimeters. He actually was. We were ready to stop. He was like, we're good. And I looked at him and I said, okay, doc, well, we're here. I've got it in. Can we keep going?
Like, can we keep? Well, this is Gina. Can we keep going?
Can we keep going?
When a lot of people, and I'm not gonna like anybody that's like so glad you got done with this and you were totally, but Gina's like, can we keep expanding? Right?
He said, "You are you sure?" He goes, I have to let you know, this was a little funny, but he's like, your nose might grow. It might seem like it's going to get a little bigger. I don't know if you're, and I'm like, wait, I'm not here for my nose. I'm here. I mean, I am. I'm here to breathe airway, but no, I think I'll be okay. And he's like, well, let's go a little bit at a time. And I was like, if I can get the best health, that's what I want. I mean, longevity, just imagine. I have grandparents that are in their 80s right now, but I'm like, I could live easily. I could struggle for the next 30 years or live easily. So why not? Yeah. But when he said, okay, and we took it easy. He said, we're gentle, little by little. So we took some time doing it. But we reached 10 millimeters, and even the mile people, they were like, what?
Yeah.
For a woman to be 40, anything 40 millimeters or above is great. And I'm 42.
Yeah.
Which I'm shocked.
So tell me, I mean, it's hard to like pin down, like, because there's so much, I'm just really enjoying hearing you explain your journey. But like, I don't know, just for the sake of like, because you said it, like, I wasn't even thinking like, whatever, you were like, the floor of the mouth work. And then it just helps, it's like, it is about the floor. And you said it, but it's about the whole body and like all the things, all the organs and all the fat. It kind of like, just to like ask you for your mind, like, imagine if we didn't do the floor of the mouth work. Like, you had what? Like, you already had expansion, but you came to me to prepare for a functional frenuloplasty, meaning your tongue was tied from in utero, right? And then you already had your upper lip, the labial upper lip frenum released.
Correct.
And then Dr. Zaghi was like, yeah, you got to do the steps, do the prep, and get it done. And you were on your journey, and your awesome journey with the people you were with, and they were setting you up for success.
Correct.
I don't know. I also think like it's fitting. Some people aren't going to know where to look, who to go to. You're unique in that not only will you pursue things, but you're a healer. And so I think sometimes you knew there was more because you already had experienced really good. And like, some people will never find me or whatever, and they're going to be really good. But you're not a person who looks for really good. So tell me, like, what would it have been like? Could you predict or say, like, what would it have been like if you hadn't had the floor of the mouth work, like, leading up to, like, I want to ask you, like, you're getting your tongue tie released, and where does your tongue attach? The floor of the mouth.
Correct.
So if you didn't get floor of the mouth work, like, what do you think, like, what would it have been like if you didn't get that?
I mean, I honestly don't want to know.
Okay.
Which
is good.
No, but it is good. So when we met, I just initially wanted to know, first get an understanding. We went through the first, I think we spent about a couple hours together, 2 hours the first time. And that's where I realized it was that like was in that juxtaposition. Do I just meet with him once before the floor? And actually question. I had an appointment where I wanted to have it done sooner, but I actually pushed it out a month. Remember, I wanted to have it done. Wanted to have it done in May, but we pushed it out until June because I wanted to get the sessions in. From the very first session, how do I say this? So I am a person that's kinesthetic. I study kinesiology.
Yeah.
I spend the time learning about the body, moving my body. I have cognizant of it, but feeling that release, or not, I shouldn't say use the word, feeling that comfort, feeling that at ease in my body, the neurological, the peacefulness. I don't even know if I can express it and put into words, but the feeling I felt afterwards, it was calm. It was soothing. I know the word. I was in parasympathetic.
Yeah.
I was in parasympathetic, and I realized, I felt that, and I thought, wow, I do so many modalities of stimulating the vagus nerve, of working my lymph, putting my legs up the wall, and breathing, exercise, all the things I've learned. And I went, I just had one session, and I'm completely in parasympathetic. I checked my aura ring, and I was in restorative mode, and I was throughout the day, and I went, wow. And it continued, and I thought, this is powerful. This is more than just I'm going to go and have a session. So. And
you were already doing New Calm,
right? Oh, yes.
You were a fan of New Calm, and you've been a what do you call it?
In New Calm, yes. I'm a mastermind member.
You're a mastermind member,
yes.
And you've been doing New Calm,
which is since 2020.
Right, FDA, whatever you call it. It actually helps regulate the autonomic nervous system. It helps regulate people so that they can shift from hypersympathetic to regulated parasympathetic. So, I just want to say, you had done a ton of things.
Oh, I did. And you put on these biosensors that you do that with, and it does. It does bring you down. It does.
Yeah.
It does, but it was nothing like working the floor of the mouth. I really felt in tuned too, if I can use that.
Sure.
Like I felt in tuned where I could sense my body wants this. I feel I need this, so I could listen. I could hear.
Yeah.
But it was almost like having noise canceling, where I could cancel all the noise out and listen just to my body after that.
Yeah.
So it was life changing. I have to say. So I was very fortunate because we made the time, but we had 4 sessions before my before my tongue tie release, and I bookended. Because you were the linchpin. I was like, all the people I've seen is great, but this is going to give me success. So I saw you Friday, on a Friday. Monday we had the tie release, and Tuesday morning, that's where I want to get to. Tuesday morning, I came to you, and I spoke. I didn't speak so clearly. It was like my tongue was flopping around, or it was like a fat tongue, or it didn't fit. And I saw you, and I'm, Dr. Neel. I tried to say the words, and I couldn't pronounce my S's and my N's, and you're like, tell me about your day. Tell me about it. And we're going through the same assessment. Okay, you're looking at doing yours. Then you have me lying down.
Well, did you see your video?
Oh yeah, you did. You posted it. Yes.
Here, just so we can do this real quick.
The brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
And then now just tell me,
it's only a quick video,
where's
so
the
just
beach
like
that you used to go to growing up?
The beach was called Henry's Beach.
Go ahead and tell me that phrase again.
The brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Wow! I just had my thyroid put back in alignment. I feel like I could speak again.
So what
Last
beach
night,
did you go to growing up?
I was at Henry's Beach last night, and I took my sandals off, and I could speak.
Oh my gosh!
I was so shocked.
Yeah,
I still sit here like I remember it. I remember it so clearly.
The beach was and this was 5 minutes before the treatment, right?
I took my shoes off, my sandals, and walked along the beach at sunset, and touched some of the water just to get some.
It was like 5 minutes of work, right?
Yes,
which is crazy.
But you assessed me. He had me.
Toy, you talk now. Yeah.
So he at the assessment he had me because Dr. Neel will assess you in all different planes. So vertical or sitting down, laying down, face down. Actually, not just face down, face up. And so I was sitting down, and then I was laying face down. And as I was talking, I stopped and I go, I know you hear this. Can you hear me? And he said, yes, I can. And I thought, I sound a little. To my head, I went, I sound a little clear. I don't.
Yeah, when you were on your back, you were like.
Then you had me face. Yeah, you
were talking so.
And I looked at you. I go,
clearly.
Can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying?
All right.
I was so excited. Can you hear me? I'm speaking better. I said, and you went, yes, I can.
Yes,
you said, you know what? Let's have you come back. I think I know what it is. And sure enough, next thing I know, you align my thyroid. You do your magic, and I went, wow. I'm speaking much better. So again, floor of the mouth. Had I not done it, then I don't know when and that was literally 1 week ago. So I had last Monday, today is Monday, last Monday, I had my release, and last Tuesday is when I saw you. So it's been 1 week, and I'm speaking on a podcast.
Right.
And with a microphone.
Totally.
Clear.
Well, the crazy thing is first of all, craziness is that you planned this all out. You live in the San Diego, you had your release in like Westwood Beverly Hills with Dr. Zaghi, but you had already planned out but you and your husband, you're going to come stay in Santa Barbara.
Yes.
And stay the night to wake up in the morning so that last week, the day after your release, you could come in after your surgical release, you could come in and get a session. When you and your husband were out there in the waiting room, and I heard you talk, I'm like, oh man, I felt it. I'm like, and I've helped a lot of people, and sometimes it takes days or a week, and you'll get that tongue function back without my work. But it's like, man, I was like, oh, I so felt for you because I'm like, you just had your tongue released.
All this work I've done to prepare.
And it was a phenomenal release by a masterful surgeon.
Yes, you did.
And so this isn't all about that. But okay, I also want to mention, you were like, this is to speak to your biohacker, and let's say the word can carry some negative connotations these days because we don't want to talk about using a machete to hack through a jungle. No. It's more about optimizing performance of looking for the most efficient, prudent, efficacious ways to healing that circumvent unnecessarily long processes.
Correct.
But you were like, how do I say this? There's like you were gonna like, you could have taken ibuprofen, right?
No,
But
yeah.
you but
No, I
you said
could've.
no, I don't want to do that. You took PIA, right?
Yeah, PEA,
PEA,
palmitoyl ethanolamide,
palmitoyl ethanol,
which is in mother's breast milk, which is anti-inflammatory.
and you just wanted to take like as natural, holistic ways as
Correct.
possible. And I think this is the juxtaposition that we have is like, thank God for surgery,
Correct.
thank God for medical intervention.
Yes.
Yet at the same time, you knew that like, so let's just say like after the release, maybe like if you had taken ibuprofen, the swelling would have come down. But for me, I'm like, but at what expense? Because you suppress your immune system while doing it.
You taught me that.
Right.
You taught me that because I was prepared to red light therapy, do all the modalities, and
right.
you prepared me the Friday before my tongue tie release. You said I was actually had a little bit of my gut bugs were a little out of percentage points, so I wanted to work on that. But I was doing something, taking something else, so the LSF. Taking something else, and you said, why don't you start backing off on things and just continue nurturing your body, allow your body to do what it needs to, because right underneath the tongue it's going to need to expand. Yeah, so it's going to need to expand. And if you sit there, and he said, think about it, let's think about it, you're going to take some energy and heal something else or work something else on your body, and your body needs to heal from your tongue tie release. So what is it going to do? Is it going to work on healing the floor of the mouth, or where are you going to split all your energy in your body? And I went, he's right. Oh my gosh, that's right.
Well, because like you're so proactive that you were trying to deal with gut issues, and can I mention biocidin, and you were, and I'm like, well, you actually didn't say the name of the product, and I'm like, are you taking biocidin? Was it biocidin LSF? And you're like, how'd you know? And I'm like, first of all, because it's like a gold standard to treat like fungal and candida and mold. But second of all, it is rough on the body. That's why it's so effective. But I'm like, ooh, your skin, is having issues because of the Herxheimer reaction, right? It's a detox reaction. And some people are like, well, isn't that good? And I'm like, yeah. However, that means that your body is getting rid of so many toxins that it's having trouble. Yeah. And that means that like, if you weren't in this process, you're like, well, yeah, it's worth it to do this. And I still say, there's still some ways around that. But I'm like, right. So if your body's going to be spending energy on dealing with the detox reaction, it's going to use that energy there, and it's not going to help you get in this expansive state because it's like paradoxical. After a tongue tie release, we want the tongue not to heal prematurely.
That's what you said.
We want healing, but we don't want contraction. So there is like a phase of like 2 weeks to 6 weeks after release where we can get into expansion and help the tongue stay free and mobile and the floor of the mouth stay supple. There's actually a 3-month neuromuscular window bigger than that. But anyways, you were like, oh, right. Yeah. And I also would say, like, I'm a big fan of like all these, there's so much to say, but I'm a big advocate of like red light right after release. It can actually stimulate healing. And so anyways, I'm a big fan of violet light, but when need be, but my goal is like, how can we help you stay in that expansive opening up stage here so that you can get the maximum benefit of the reason that you did this, and you put so much intentionality towards preparing for this. So now we're in the post-operative phase, and that's why you're here, right? Back in Santa Barbara for your second post-op session to see what we can do. And
I drove from San Diego, stayed last night, woke up, I'm here on a Monday. It's worth it. Being able to, we saw the video. I was here last week. We witnessed it. We looked at each other like, wow. Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah, so I guess you're kind of like, we're kind of talking to you at this phase of like post-op after you went through the prior airway journey. So we have that's why I want to talk to you. I was like, ooh, we have these two themes of like, you on a journey of healing and you on a journey in life of, optimizing and then something bigger, right? So maybe if we could, like, I want you to share more thoughts that you have on that come to mind. But I do want to say, like, in the next 5-ish or so minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, we'll be concluding. So what's the, I guess, this might seem like you've done so much for what, and then and then what else? And like, we're still like, we're going to go into our session today and we're going to see how you're doing. But clearly, like the way you're talking, I'm like, I have no idea you had trouble talking.
Yes.
And then again, right after our session, okay, this is the thing I want to get to. After we had that 5 minutes of thyroid release and you could talk that much more eloquently, yeah, we still had more than 2.5 hours of a bodywork session. So I also want to help people know, like, you kept saying as I released more areas in the body, right? From the cranials to the facial bones to the fascia to the manubrium, right? And then just down through the entire body. You're like, and I can just tell that improved my swallowing. I can just tell that. So you were so aware and tuned in with interoception and kinesthetic sense to your own body that you were finding more and more and more shifts and changes throughout the whole session.
Yes.
So it was like, if we would have interviewed you right after the session, we would have had a great, like, some people wouldn't have been like, they wouldn't have never ever known that you had trouble. However, there was a gradation of change that, like, instant change, amazing. But yeah, we have these.
Correct, the swallowing, because I even stopped, paused to grab some water.
Yes.
And I drank, and I said, wow, I felt like there was somehow, I don't know, a boulder or something stuck in my throat. And as I was drinking water, I was able to, well, as I've learned from Mayo how to drink water correctly, but as I learned how to do it, I was like, wow, I can. It wasn't like I had to take a sip, hold it into my mouth, and then gently let it go down. I could drink it. It could keep going down. So it was great.
And
so great.
Yeah, and so because some people might be like, well, yeah, I've had to first of all, there's so many amazing healers out there. There's so many people now, like who, whether you're, all the fields, we could say chiropractor, craniosacral, physical therapist, osteopath, you're working in the mouth, right? So there's a lot of people who be like, well, I've had work in the mouth before. But yeah, like you said, we worked on the manubrium, right?
Correct.
Like we spent like a long time on the sternum,
Correct.
on that part of it, because that's one of the diaphragms that I've identified that I'm teaching on, that I'm going to put into the field.
Even on my elbow. Right?
Oh yeah, we had your elbow. That's another diaphragm.
I had no idea. I didn't know. I didn't know until we worked on it.
Oh, and then maybe give us like a 1-minute explanation of what it was like in a prior session in Agora Hills to identify something from like 5 years in the future.
Yes, there was a moment where throughout the session you'll check the floor of the mouth. And we'll look for tightness, which I'll feel. The minute it doesn't hurt, but I'll feel like, ooh, that's like a tight, like a sore muscle that when you work out, and you'll go, do you feel that? And I'm like, I feel that's tight, yeah. And of course we get it released. However, it's not just that Dr. Neel's is massaging my mouth. He's not quite doing that, but he's going out systemic, look in the body. Where is that tightness, and where's it going to help release that that tension? So he went ahead and said, he was, we were doing this, we were doing that, and he stopped and he goes, hold on. And you do your intuitive powers, and you said, it's not outside of you, is it inside of you? Is it identity? Is it you go through your whole, system? And you said, tell me, in the future, I don't know, 3-5 years from now, what is there something you're thinking about in the future, you're holding on to, a thought? And I went, wow. I actually am. You said, is there a decision? I said, there actually is a decision. I was living in Europe, in Italy for over 5 years, and I want to go back. And I was thinking, should I move? Should I move back again? Because if I do, and I plan out my life, which I'm a planner, and I get back to Europe, let's see, should I do it before 55? Should I do it after? And then thinking about retirement, and so how am I going to make all this work? And you looked at me and you said, and how much time do we have till then? You're just barely 50.
Right.
You're not even there. You're nowhere near 55. Can we think about that when the time comes and not now? And I all of a sudden I had to realize, not that it wasn't, not a silly thought, but just that he's right. I don't need to be so caught up with and concerned with a decision that and so much could change. So much could change between now and then. Who knows? I could start grad school and my nutrition, and who knows, it could take a different change. And I may not be open to that because I'm so locked in on some other idea. And I said, you're right. And I'm thinking I could just take a trip if I really need to go back to Italy. It's not that life changing. But once you said, and I did. I felt my body like, okay, like I let it go. Like it's safe. It's okay. It's okay, body. We'll think about that later. And when we let that go, you went back in and said, now can you feel the difference? And sure enough, release. And I was holding tension in my and the floor of my mouth that was preventing, again, if I would have had that tension, again, you asked
Right.
me, what if I didn't have this? If I did not have any floor of the mouth, no sessions, nothing before my tongue tie release, I'd be holding on to that.
Right.
And that could have still strained my speaking. Who knows?
Yeah, and every time that happens in a moment, I'm like, okay, whoa, that's
instantly,
crazy. Yeah.
Instantly, you went back and checked, but you kind of checked with me, like, did you? And I said, yeah, I did. I let it go. You're right. It sounds silly, and I could just take a trip. Like, that's it. But sure enough, when you checked, we both looked at each other. Look, it's gone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Just the emoji with explosion, like life changing.
Yeah, and it was awesome as you were like, first of all, willing to go there, willing to talk about it. And I know being a futurist, like my wife is a futurist. She's like always thinking about the future. It's a gift. So it's a gift that gave you the even like the presence of mind to think ahead that far into the future. And you know what? Like I was like, there's other things that like that's worth it because you're planning ahead, you're tactical, it's your job. It's like in the moment though, like I was like, I have no it was not even a critical analysis of is that good or bad for you to do that? I'm like, whoa, it's amazing. But I'm like, ooh, the floor of your mouth, which I call an aperture, a lens, a place to view the body from.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, there is tension there. And when I know there's tension there, I know if there's that kind of tension there, it's just not coming from there. It's coming from somewhere else and in the body. You gave us like a really good, and I'm like, ooh, where is it? It's not anywhere. I'm like, I cannot find it. I'm like, then this is what I almost forget to ask. I'm like, wait a minute. It's not here now. Is it here? Is it from the past? Is it something in the past? No. Is it something in the future? Yes. And then I tested it. It was like 5 years. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe like give it like you can plan that out 3 years in advance, but this is 5 years in advance. So I feel like in that moment you were experiencing the cortisol spike, the stress increase from your mind trying to process something that you and your body didn't need to, therefore weren't ready for, therefore didn't need to, therefore that means that it's a good stress to think about what we need to do in the future, right? Hormetic stress.
Correct.
Eustress.
Eustress, yeah.
And it's like, it's good until it isn't. Correct. And then the moment that you went into the future enough to plan out something that you didn't even know, because first of all, it's like, you are going to go through so much change in life after the tongue tie release. And then when you get into this new field and when you get out and you graduate, I'm like, you're going to be a totally different person. Correct, you are thinking with a mind that isn't the mind you will have. So therefore, if you're thinking with this mind into a reality that you don't have yet, this is where the hormetic stress turns into a distress. Yeah. And at that point, cortisol spikes. You went into contracture and the floor of your mouth tightened. So my theory on that is like, yeah, we have certain things that we are to hold and to manage now. And there are certain things that are like, we don't even need to worry about it. It's like, put that off in a healthy way. That being said, I'm like, it's really good that you could be too proactive in thinking ahead so that you could curtail it. Yes. Some people like me, I need to be like better at thinking ahead so it was really cool to see that moment because I'm like, oh, the floor of the mouth work is not at all about, like, I didn't do anything to create a tension release. What I did is, as a guide, I prompted you and I just only nudged you in a direction to where I sat back and I'm like, let Gina do the healing now. Because you did. You were like, wait a minute, I'm totally, and you had your epiphany. Yes, I also want to like highlight that not only is it like, for me, I'm like always big on stepping back and letting the body do what it's designed to do. And then you in that moment, you like entertained the reality and you like nurtured your mind and your body into like this place of like, you can let go. Correct. And I know like that was kind of what happened in that moment.
And you did, you said that. And you okay with letting it go? And I went, yes, I can. Like, let it go. And I never picked it back up because it didn't come back.
And I said, yeah.
Because I've seen you, this will be the third time. I saw you last week. So second time after it hasn't showed up. Yeah.
And my big thing on that is like, I'm like, okay, so yeah, don't worry about it. I think you've let it go fully. However, I'm always trying to be proactive. I'm like, just in case you have a lot of tension that comes back or you feel the stress of bearing a burden you don't need to, just ask yourself, are you thinking about that? Yeah. And you're like, and you've been coasting, right, on that regard. Yes. So, and then we have had a bunch of other, like, oh yeah, we sifted through all the anatomy and physiology, and there's a bunch of other things that we've done. So, Oh yeah, and I remembering that plant out there.
Yes,
When I
yes.
when I was trying to find
A tree
out
branch.
what to look at, and I couldn't figure it out, and I saw a tree branch that was shape of an elbow, and that's how I knew to look
Yes,
at your elbow.
yes.
But not to highlight that part, but just to highlight. I feel like it's been fun to talk because I think we both are like willing to do whatever it takes to find the answer that we need to find, so that
True.
we can see betterment, not for like ourselves, but for others. And so I like highlight that today, Gina. Like I'm so thankful that like it's been amazing to get to be in your journey. And I just feel like as you go on and you'll help many people, I'll just get to be a person that was one of the people that like aided you in this journey. But I can't wait to see like you're gonna be this like functional medicine specialist that will have floor of the mouth knowledge, not only like somebody would might maybe like a naturopath took my course in the Phoenix area, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited because that's going to inform her work. But you can have this work not only as like an intellectual paradigm, but you will have experienced it. And I get excited because I just think I was given this work. It was a download, and I'm like want to just exude it. And so I'm excited to see what you do, not only with like the floor of the mouth work. I don't know. I'll have to get you on again because like I feel like there's too much more to say. Before we conclude, let's just take a couple minutes and say like anything else you want to share, and that's open ended. And then I'll also say like, what would you say to people out there who are like trying to figure out what is my personal legend?
Oh,
How do you think? Like, what would you say? Like, what can people do, or how would you nudge people towards opening up that reality to find out who they are and what they are to do? You could say
the first I wanted to say, the only last thing was, in case people ask, I've been asked this, and I didn't mention it. It's taken me about 2.5 years. When I first started, the MARPE was January 2023, and no, excuse me, January 2024. Sorry, January 2024 is when I wore the MARPE, and it is so it's been 2, 3, 24, 25. However, 2.5 years. 2.5 years ago is when I began, whatever that was. So 2.5 years. But let's see, your personal legend.
yeah.
I mean, it's such a modern day world is so fast. It's been so fast. There's so many demands, so many things that needs us, so many different places where we have to give our attention to, and then somehow you have to keep your mind attentive on things. So sometimes we're not living in the present moment. We're scrolling in, we're futurizing or living in the past. So it is a challenge. I think back, like there are times where, and I don't know, I how many people have told this to, not very many, but apparently now more will know. Since I was 30 years old, I've done something, and I felt this is kind of what keeps me grounded, and what sort of helps is the day I turned 30, I went to living here in California, of course. I went to the Sycamore Springs in Avila, and it's a gorgeous place. You can relax. People go. You could do a hot tub with the mineral water, and it's a great little spot. But I went alone, had a little weekend, and I decided to write myself a letter. And when I wrote a letter, I wrote, "This is 30. Here we go. Every decision you make for the next 9 years, or 10 years ish till you turn 40, will affect your 40s. So make a wise choice, because it's all gonna you're all gonna live with all the decisions you made and the decisions you didn't make." But I did something else. I wrote myself a story of, this is where you're at. This is what's going on. The present. I wrote the present. This is how you feel. This is what's aching inside. This is what's gnawing at you inside. This is what you're scared of. This is what you're frightened of. This is what you're excited and elated about. So I wrote myself a genuine letter to me. And I said, here's all the worries that you think will happen next year, and you don't know what's the outcome. Here's what you think is going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. I do like to plan.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that. And then what I did was, the next year when I turned 31, I read it. I didn't touch it. I didn't read it until 31. And it was the same thing that I had the experience with you. I laughed at myself so hard. Oh, you silly little girl. You thought of this. You worried about that. You were so worried. This is how it turned out. You were so, caught up with spinning out of this thing, and it just fizzled out. It didn't even become anything. So and I was in the middle of grad school when I did that, but I've held on to that. So every year I take that moment once a year. I mean, I guess it'd be good to do it more, but with this modern world, once a year is great. Yeah. But on my birthdays, that's what I do for myself. And then I have now letters that I've gone back to. So I'll turn 51 later on. In about 3 weeks, I'll turn 51. So I have over 20 letters now to myself that I can look at to say, wow. And it really puts into perspective of you, of your life. Yeah. So when I think of the next year, and I think of right now, like, what's gnawing at me, what's aching, what am I excited about? I could take that in perspective. So again, it'd be nice if I did that maybe once a month or once a week, but I do it once a year. Amazing. But I can at least look at it and go, here's where you're, and so I can't wait to write the story, the part about where I want to go, because that was last year's. I'm starting to think about moving or relocating back overseas for a few years, and it's, I think that's how I could feel. That's where my personal legend is, being able to know where I've been, seeing where I'm at, and then being open to where I'm going. Yeah. It's my written history, so I can I can see that development over time.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's so.
If it helps anyone, though, but that's what I do.
That's huge. I think that's a great. I mean, I've really loved writing letters to myself and journaling and mapping, and I haven't done that with that consistency. So I think it's a great admonition or just like encouragement to people. It's like, have some rhythm where you take stock, and that's amazing. Put your thoughts onto page, write or document or whatever it is. No, that's great. I mean, I love that. And the fact that you can chart your history and look at things, because I asked you that. I'm like, personal legend is not just like what you are to do and like destiny calling. It's like, how do you know whether you're on your track and your map and your journey? And this is like a great way that you have done that already. So it's like, even though you were like, I love your question, and it made you think of something in a different way. Really, it's just pulling from you a practice that you've already had of tuning in to see. So I love that. Well, I think that's a great encouragement to everybody. And just know that we'll talk more, because I think you have a lot more wisdom to share. But for today, I feel like we got a lot of really good insight, and I feel encouraged, and I feel like I'm so happy that we got to do this. Yes. And so anybody tuning in, I just want to hear like what you think, and if you have any questions, please shoot them my way. I'll be glad to pass them on to Gina, and then you can if that's good, let me know. If you'd rather do that, that's great. And would you rather have people reach out to me if they have questions about you, or do you want people to reach out to you if they have any questions? You can just tell me.
Yeah, probably you.
Okay, so I'll field them. I'll screen. I'll be your PA, your personal assistant, and then your receptionist, and then
or your team. Your team can reach out to me.
All right. Well, that's it for today. This is gonna be good. We got to get into our session here. So this is what Gina's here for. All right. So great. So
happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. In these conversations, we do deep dives, and resources are aplenty. So please tune in and enjoy. And I'm so excited to have you along for the journey.